Welcome back. You're watching KTN News Desk with me, Akisa Wandera. That fire that has razed down about 700 stalls in Gikomba continues to be a topic of conversation at this particular hour. The fire that started at about 2 a.m. and we've seen a number of the traders say that they have lost a lot of money. They don't know where to start from. In studio joining me now is Washington Degere, who's the chairman of the Bima Intermediaries Association of Kenya. And to just tell us what really can the traders of Gikomba do to cushion themselves from such incidences. Thank you very much, Washington, for joining us here on KTN News.
Thanks, Akisa, for having me.
Yes.
First of all, let me offer my condolences to the Gikomba traders for whatever has happened to them. It's harrowing and scary to think what could be going on in their minds. I mean, there are people right now there are people who've lost a lot. We can say that. There are people who've lost a lot. And of course, without a certain form of cushion to their loss, it can be devastating. For families, it can be very, very devastating.
And that's where you come in. Just I think we should just start with the statistics on the number of SMEs who really do take up insurance covers and policies in the country.
Yeah, Akisa, SMEs basically is the small-scale traders who come together and they set up their, and those are the backbone of this economy. This backbone is, this economy is supported by close to almost 40% of the form business that's done here is actually informal, you know? And this big sector needs some form of insurance. And insurance has to be, because insurance basically, let me say, as far as like the combat traders is concerned, has some little bit of technicalities.
What are these technicalities?
Insurance likes being specific. For example, if you insure your household goods, Akisa, you got to make sure that there's a clause that says your house should always, you should take proper care of your goods. Yes, you should lock your house. You should have some more protection against a fire. That's why that's why insurance says you should have fire extinguishers, for example. You should, in case of fire. But now, when you come to like the combat traders, how many of them have fire extinguishers in their structures?
Perhaps none.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes tricky.
So what are we saying? The nature of their business makes it hard for them to be insured?
Yeah, it makes it tricky to be insured. There are companies, of course, that have gone into that, into looking at how they can cover them. But also looking at Gikomba, the way it's structured, and the fact that you don't have proper mechanisms of tackling a fire, so to speak, or preventing a spread. Because preventing a spread is also an issue, you know? So those kind of things, when insurance is coming in, it's got to take all that into account. And so the biggest thing is this: how many insurance companies have actually gone out there and insure the Gikomba people? Because that's a big, and remember, Gikomba is a big business community, earning millions per day. And that is prime business.
So do you think companies have been responsive, especially for this kind of trade, for small-scale traders, especially those that you would find in Gikomba markets?
Yeah, there are some companies actually that have been responsive to that. But most companies keep away from that. There should be about 2 or 3 companies that go ahead and insure those kind of businesses. Of course, with a lot of conditions, you know? But it becomes tricky because when I think about insurance, as an insurance person, it becomes tricky to think about how you control a Gikomba. Okay, something like burglary. You know, for example, like, because insurance basically in an SME, first of all, you need to how do you look at in an SME? SMEs, we look at the basic cover. That is fire and lightning and burglary. That's a basic cover. But SMEs go ahead and have a bigger, they have an extension, so to speak. They include political violence and terrorism. They include like water damage when you're containing a fire. They look at riot strikes and civil commotion. You know, that's an extension of the fire and burglary cover. They also look at they also, in the same cover, in this same SME, they extend to also cover personal accident cover. That's for the entrepreneur or for the business owner and the family.
Yeah.
That's all a package. Okay.
But Gikomba, this is not the first incident we're saying. It's not news. Fire, there's always a fire in Gikomba. After a few months, there's another fire. These traders go through this over and over again. You mentioned that a number of insurance companies would prefer to stay away from this. So who would cushion these people? Should we perhaps be looking at the government now?
Good question. Because somehow they've got to be protected. Remember, this is an informal sector and it plays a big part in the driving of this economy. I mean, these people pay taxes, I should think. So can the government kind of come in and look for a way that these people can be protected? There's something called peer-to-peer insurance.
Yes.
That's actually the origin of insurance, where Akisa, you and me and several other people, we put money aside to compensate ourselves in case of a disaster. If an insurance company is not willing to come in and insure, remember insurance companies are basically business people. They ain't gonna expose themselves, I mean, just like that. So if you can have them coming together and forming like a chama or something to protect themselves against a fire, that would be one form, or that would be one way of compensating them. The government, what if the government can come in and look for a way of protecting these people? Because at the end of the day, okay, so we cannot have this thing going on day in, day out. How much resilience do you have? You know, you lose money 6 months down the line, you're losing money again. Yeah, before the year is over, you lose some. I mean, it's not a little bit fair. I should think so too.
Even with a few insurance companies that would offer policies for this kind of traders, just how many of them take up insurance covers?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, when something like a fire happens, I guess most of them go out to look for them. But maybe they find a closed door. Because they're told, hey, as long as you Gikomba, you're not touching that. I mean, it's just recently, actually, we had, I want to take you through what happens with insurance companies.
Yes, kindly.
Just recently, they started insuring like exhibitions. You know these ones in town?
Yes.
And those ones are far much more better protected than like the Gikomba traders. But they're still unwilling to insure them because apparently you cannot insure one stall, but you don't control the rest of the building.
Yes.
About the entry, for example, in case of a burglary, in case of a fire, you don't control the fire extinguishers, you know? So if it would be, but now they're doing that now. They're insuring stalls and stuff. But if it was so hard to do a stall, how hard would it be to do an open air trade like we have in Gikomba, you know?
So, yes.
That's why the only thing, Akisa, that we can have is either peer-to-peer or the government comes in. Actually, the government can come in and kind of do like a subsidy to the premiums or to the insurance companies. You know, just like we're doing livestock insurance. Livestock insurance is basically the government is actually the one that actually insures the traders. So why can't they do the same with Gikomba traders? You know.
So, as an insurance agent, if you were to talk to any of the traders who's lost a lot of money, because you've had one of the women there say that she opened bail of about 35,000 shillings, and she opened 5. That's a lot of money to lose as a small-scale business person. So, if you were to advise the traders as far as insurance is concerned, what would you tell them?
That basically, I would tell them they need to lobby for some kind of protection. Themselves, okay, we as insurance agents, of course, that would be kind of the only advice we can offer people like this. What kind of protection can they be able to afford themselves? Can the government also, can they also appoint their representatives? I guess they have their own representatives in Gikomba, you know? What kind of protection, I don't know if they've ever looked for something like protecting themselves against fire. Can they be able actually to even lobby the government? Because I guess a permanent solution has to be found out for this. Or can Gikomba even be properly structured? Can they make up a proper structure that worthy of formal insurance? You know? that kind of thing. I mean, we've got to think along those lines.
So you think they need to formalize it in some way for insurance companies to come in, but don't you think with the number of traders there and the amount of money that is made there, don't you think this is an area that insurance companies need to seriously think about?
No, it's true. It's true. Like I was saying, it's big business, millions per day that are transacted in there. So, personally, if I had an insurance company, this is an area I would specialize on. I would specialize in tapping. I mean, charge as much money as you can, charge as much premiums as you can. Most of these people will pay up because they know you don't know, actually, something like a fire, you don't know when it's going to occur. Most of these people didn't even know there's going to be a fire. So even if you charged whatever amount of premiums, most likely they would come in and pay, because the alternative is worse. Don't you think so?
Yes, I do. Washington, thank you for coming into KTN News Desk. He is the chairman of the Bima Intermediaries Association of Kenya, as we take a look at some of the policies that might need to be considered to just cushion traders like those of Gikomba Market. It's not the first time we're hearing of a fire at Gikomba Market. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we're continuing to keep tabs on that situation. Our Timothy Otieno is on the ground for us, just trying to talk to the traders there to just take a look at the situation there, even as they get to the bottom of how the fire started. Timothy Otieno has reported that the traders there are reading malice, but of course we continue to take a look at this particular